This is Ziggy Berkeley, and you are listening to yet another awesome podcast on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. And hey, when you're done here, if you like James Bond 007, why not check out my podcast, Her Majesty's Secret Podcast, with new episodes dropping every other Monday on The Fern. And if you're really into James Bond, you can enter the Dial-A-Henchman contest. Want to know more? Go to hermajestyspod.com/contest, and you could win something from the James Bond 007 universe. Meanwhile, enjoy the show.
Hey there, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios, and this Four-Eyed Radio presentation is being proudly brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We have a new person on the show today we're very excited about.
Hey, this is Steve. Jeff forgot to say he was Jeff, but just so you know, that was Jeff, and this is Steve, and now we're ready.
Welcome to the 12A Podcast, where you're going to learn about movies, entertainment, and a lot of other cool stuff. And now, here are two guys who turned doing taxes into a drinking game, Jeff and Steve.
I need to do my taxes.
Oh.
Did you do yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to do mine.
Yeah.
I finished our...
you did our 12A taxes a while
the
ago,
LLC taxes are all done. I still don't have my personal ones.
Well,
so.
this is a different show for us.
Geez.
This is we're in a different environment. We're at the actual Socially Awkward Studios this time, and Sam ditched us tonight for his quote-unquote real job.
The one that pays the bills.
All right,
yes.
So Steve-O's here with us doing sound for us. Thank you, Steve.
Hello. Hopefully I don't screw it up too badly. So,
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
Hey, all I got to say is if he does a good job of it, Eric's getting replaced is the rumors. So.
Oh. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't listen to our show.
No, let the cat out of the bag. So anyways, we have a very special guest on this evening, and if all works out well and she doesn't get booed off, she's going to be our third host.
They haven't booed us off yet, so it's hard to imagine getting worse than that.
Right.
So Carly, welcome to the show, Carly. Yeah.
Hi, thank you.
All right. Carly, let's see. We're going to do speed round on Carly. So we have like 20 questions, 10 each of us, to get to know her. Do you want to do the speed round earlier just to loosen her up a bit, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should do a quick intro first
of
who Carly is. For those of you who don't know, we've known Carly forever. Carly and I have actually known each other since high school.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was
Steve
a long time ago.
Steve,
that was a long time ago.
I've known Steve for that long as well.
Yeah, so that was a long time.
Anyways, Carly's been helping us with a lot of things behind the scenes, and now she's getting in front of the scenes.
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yes.
That's a microphone. But that's okay. Carly's been working, we've done a lot more projects recently, like the filming and stuff like that, and she helps Jeff and I with organization because we're bad at that.
Yes.
And
as most men are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, so there. Yeah. This is going to be.
And
such
she fits
a great,
she fits in with us great because your Cumberbatch obsession is like your Jennifer Lawrence.
Nope, not Cumberbatch. It's
Cumberbatch.
Cumber amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's much similar to your
my Jennifer Lawrence, and we both had the same Joseph
JG,
Gordon-Levitt. So
yes,
JGL one.
indeed.
Yeah.
So
went to Don John together actually.
We
Carly
did.
and I did.
Yeah, we snuggled. We laughed.
Oh,
we did.
Snuggled
We
during
cried,
Don
we
John.
cried.
We did. I think we did
cried.
cry. There was
looked
tears.
at each other. Yeah. Cried.
Yeah.
So be prepared for me to be a lot more quiet in the shows coming ahead. So let's do speed round.
All right, let's run up to the speed round. I hope you're ready. Carly, I don't even know if Carly listens to our own podcast.
I'm going to go ahead and make a confession in that I have never listened to more than like 30 seconds of a podcast that you've done.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, I think I was prepared to hear I've never listened to your show, which I was completely fine with. But now you heard 30 seconds and you couldn't take anymore, so you turned it off.
You want to know
So
why? It was like Steve was like just kept going and going, and I was like, I'm over it.
Wait a second.
I'm over it.
Oh, okay.
That happens in film history. That does not. Wait a second. All right. Well, speed round is usually at the end of our podcast. It's speed round, and it's a quick thing. And Jeff and I have 10 questions for each other. It's the first word answers. No explaining anything, and we just move on to the next one. So it's going to be rapid fire. And we both have 10 questions, but we're asking them of you now so that everybody can kind of get to know you. We can get to know you maybe a little bit better too.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Because that's going to have to happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Steve, why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, do we have a speed round? Let's intro this with some actual speed round.
Yeah. I forgot we have actually got intro music for this. All right, you ready, sound guy? Here we go. Speed round.
Yeah, that's great.
That was Sammy. That was Sammy, the sound guy. Yeah, he's awesome. Like that.
All right, I do have to say, your guys' sound quality is for drops are so much better than Socially Awkward.
All right.
That's because we got our professional audio designer guy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going first.
Yeah.
All right. It's late at night. Your husband is asleep. Do you watch a movie or get your beauty rest?
Movie.
Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
First word that comes to mind when I say this name. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Poop. Ooh, I don't know.
Okay. Well, no explaining it.
Sexy poop.
All right. Who was your first TV or movie crush?
Don't know. I can't answer that in 1 second.
Okay. Scariest movie. First one that comes to mind.
It's the Silver Bullet.
The Silver Bullet? No.
Guys.
Okay, no, we're going to have to explain that later.
Right.
I got to move on.
Okay.
All right, favorite vampire in a movie, book, or a TV series?
Edward Cullen.
Okay, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Trek.
Pie or cake?
Pie.
A-Team or MacGyver?
MacGyver.
If you could relive any single decade, which decade would it be?
60s, hands down.
Okay, that was my 10.
Well, relive?
Relive.
Oh,
Wow.
wait. Yeah.
No, that was your
that's
answer.
fine.
That's great.
I
No,
know,
that's-
60s is fine. You can
Just,
live the 60s. That's okay.
All right, mine. Typically, I try to keep it like easy one-word answers, but this one,
There's always a butt with you, Jeff.
I wrote a speed round for Steve, and I thought, no, I want to do like more get to know you type questions. So I picked this. This is actually on Netflix. You can see there's a documentary on Woody Allen that's really good. It's like a 2-part, like 800-hour long documentary.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah. So there's this clip on YouTube where he sits down with Woody Allen, the guy who did the documentary, and he was like, "Let me ask you like 10 questions that you've never been like typically asked." Because directors sit down and like they ask him to say like, "Which is your favorite movie that you've ever done, or the best movie ever, whatever." He's like, "I want to ask you like 10 questions like that you've probably never been asked."
Sure.
So these are those questions for you.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Name. So you get maybe 2 seconds on this. You can have a little bit more time because they're a little bit more complicated
Okay. Well, that
questions.
makes it feel a little better.
Okay. So here we go. Name 3 movie star crushes that you've had either as a kid or as an adult.
Okay. Well, Benedict Cumberbatch. We have to just say that one.
Yeah.
Second would be. I don't know. I can't do it in 2 seconds. I have so many, and I have to just like
Joseph
in my head.
Gordon-Levitt?
Well, yeah, that's one. Okay.
That's 2.
I meant another one. Okay, third one. I'll go ahead and say. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay.
It's too much pressure.
Okay. We got 2. There we go. That's good. If you were a friend of yourself, what would you say is the most annoying thing about you?
Type A personality.
Okay. What is one thing you did as a kid that you would be furious about your own kid doing?
I pooped once from a 2-story building that was still in construction through where the toilet should be, and it fell all the way to the floor, and it was really gross and really kind of and I just don't want to envision my children doing such a thing.
Did you do it on purpose, knowing that like you wanted to see it fall?
I wanted to see it fall and where it went, and I don't want my children doing that.
That is awesome that you're a girl and you did that.
I didn't have anything to wipe with.
She's raising 2 boys too, so it's like she's a perfect mom right there.
Oh my gosh. I can almost picture you going, "Hey kids, let me show you something."
You have to really brace yourself as a female, especially.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope that answered your question.
No, it did.
Speed round, Jeff.
Yeah, speed round. Name one person you did not know in real life that you would like to have dinner with. Like, not. Yeah, sorry.
Does this have to be a celebrity or?
No.
Oh, okay. And do they have to be alive?
Yes. Anybody? No. Dead or alive.
Okay. Probably Miles Davis.
Oh, the jazz trumpet guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Name a film. This is kind of an odd question. Name a film you always have to defend yourself liking, and a film you always have to defend not liking, but don't defend them.
Okay, right. The one I always have to defend myself liking would be Twilight.
Okay.
One I don't ever have to defend is Star Wars.
Star Wars. Okay. If you had to choose between never seeing a movie again or never seeing a sporting event again, which one would you choose?
Obviously, sporting
I
event.
figured you'd say,
really,
yeah.
why am I on this
we
podcast
were all on the
if that
same.
was the-
Yeah. So pick. Woody Allen's response to that was kind of interesting, though. So you have to pick between these two horrible events.
Okay.
You're either stuck in an elevator for half an hour on the 35th floor with the power out in the dark, or you're in a nice hotel suite for 1 week, but it's filled with cats and dogs and birds and animals and synthetic dance music playing 12 hours of the day.
Okay, I don't want to have a seizure, so I'll stay in the elevator.
Okay. What skill don't you have that you wish you had?
I wish I was a speed reader.
Oh, good. Okay, you're on death row. What is your final meal?
Oh my God, beer. Only beer.
Only beer.
I don't even think I'd choose food because I want to go feeling really good.
Yeah.
Not,
Good choice.
yeah.
All right.
Wow, that beats me.
Unless
I always beat
it's
you.
too far away and now like you're hungover and you have to die.
That's true.
Hungover and having to die. That'd be horrible.
This is
This
a
sucks. Bad decision.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
should have
man.
had that pizza, cookie, ice cream thing.
Excellent. Okay. So an angel tells you that you have 100 good years of life on this earth, and then that's it. You're done. But then he makes a deal with you. You can either have 2 more good years of life, or you can have your masterpiece of work that will immortalize you forever. Which would you choose?
Ugh, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Because I want to live forever for my children, but then I really don't want to live forever because it just sucks. But I would probably choose the masterpiece thing because that's just epic.
Yeah.
I mean, just for selfish, vain reasons.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, cool.
See?
That was
Beautiful.
speed round from
Yay.
Steve,
Yeah.
slow round from
Thank
Jeff.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
See?
I liked yours better than Steve's. Yours was more creative, and I had more time, and Steve was kind of cheap.
Yeah, I'm a cheap whore, so this is going to go well.
Well, I thought this was going to turn into the Carly and Steve show, but I'm getting all the compliments now. I like this.
I think you're getting it, Jeff. So.
All right.
Sorry about that, Steve.
All right, beautiful. No, that's all right. So now everybody knows a little bit more about you and that you like to poop from second-story buildings. So
Excellent. Yeah. Way to break the ice.
It's not even built yet. It's not
even
built.
built. Not even-
Come on.
yeah,
No, that's
yeah.
great. One of the things I love about you, Carly, is there's
No filter.
There's no filter, man. That's
I try, though. I try.
we just
Yeah.
just
little
jump. We just
Try.
dive right into Carly.
Cute.
I do try,
try.
especially around my children.
Well, yeah, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Jeff wouldn't know that.
I wouldn't.
He doesn't
No.
want kids, so.
Oh, he tries. He tries.
No,
around.
I did it. No,
he tries around your kids
Yeah, he
because
does.
he doesn't
He's
try around
good.
mine.
He's
So.
What does that say?
Well, I remember learning when my niece was young. There was a period where you could say whatever you wanted, and they're just a stupid little baby, and they're not gonna pick
parasite,
up.
yes.
Yeah, pick up on anything. But then there's this point where they're starting to pick up on things, and then you're like, oh, now I need to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. But you saw Don John with her. I saw Muppets with her and her son Leland.
There's the dynamic.
This
I went to
is-
see porn with Steve and a child's movie with Jeff.
Yeah, there
Right.
you go.
There's the dynamic of our friendships here.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go.
that is very
Yeah.
interesting.
New Muppets or old Muppets?
The new
New.
one that
The
came.
newest one came out?
Yeah, yeah. But I'm a fan of all Muppets. All.
Oh,
Me
no,
as
I
well.
like them
Yeah.
too, so I was just, is it good?
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as the last one, but it was still good. What'd you think, Carly?
Sorry. I enjoyed it, actually. But, there's a huge dynamic between old Muppets and new Muppets, but you can kind of appreciate both. They're different forms of art.
Yeah, you just have
So
to.
you have to look at it in different, point of views, different blinders on.
Yeah, you just have to appreciate it for what it is, and it's something different.
There's so many arguments on this podcast now that Carly's
Yeah,
here.
Steve's, like, turning
I'm
red.
starting to believe that I was like, I don't want to step my bounds. This is your show, and I just open Pandora's box apparently.
Ooh,
No.
having a female is
I
going
know.
to
Carly-
problem.
Carly and I Voxer a lot, which is a very cool app for talking that she totally got me hooked on. So we Voxer a lot back and forth, but a couple weeks ago we had a huge argument over art forms and
Yeah.
books and movies and stuff. And I told her I wouldn't bring it up, but she just said art form,
I
and that's
just
the
gave him the
first
look,
thing.
too.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. But we'll move on from it. Carly wants to bring to the table, Jeff. I don't even know if I told you this, but maybe she did. She wants to bring to the table Hollywood news.
No,
Yes.
it's not. I changed it.
Okay, so we're gonna have to have Sammy, do a new little intro for her too. But she's changed it now.
I
so tell us.
changed it. So, I thought about doing Hollywood news, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm really not interested in any of that shit. Oh, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, it's fine. My son doesn't listen to the show, so we're good.
Okay. Well, no. So I thought it would be just. I don't want to sound old granny, but for our age group and for the things we can talk about, we don't always have to talk about Celine Dion. I don't know who talks about her, but so I thought it would actually be real news that's current that we could openly discuss. It's not going to be completely boring. In fact, most of it, all news has humor, right? Can we already make a joke about those people dying on the plane? Is it too soon?
It's never too soon
So,
for jokes.
you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
I was about to say they found the plane.
I know, right? No, still no.
Oh.
So, but like this time, maybe I'll bring science, health, and I don't know. And then next time it'll be like, oh, I have a new, a segment I like called SN, which is shitty news, which most news is shitty news, but I have some that's not so shitty besides the plane.
Okay.
So I just thought it would be kind of let's just experiment for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
Okay. I've got some minutes to experiment with.
Okay.
I'm good. Yeah.
Do you need to excuse yourself for that?
No, I'm good. I might need a second beer, but we're good so far.
Okay.
I was about to say, if you just found the news title, just call it experimental news.
Experimental news. Hey,
All right,
okay. I
there
think
we
we
go,
might be onto something.
Good.
Yeah.
But are we diving into that?
We're diving into it. Here we
Let's dive
go.
into it.
Experimental news.
I know we're on a little bit of a time limit with you.
We are.
So
I
yeah,
know. Okay, but
for
we're
this
good.
one night only. But we're good. But I'm interested in your experimental news before I have to hear Jeff talk about film history again. So let's just be honest.
I love film history.
We're gonna all dig on each other.
So
Yeah.
So the first thing I brought pictures. I know no one can see them, but you can post them, later if someone's interested. So there's this new dinosaur. Have you guys heard about it? They found
No.
fossils. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I know.
You guys, I'm disappointed that you're not caught up with this. Okay.
I don't. You watch the right news though, the good news.
I'm
that's
not
the thing.
watching the news.
You
I
assume
don't-
we are way more educated than we really are.
The only dinosaur news I know is Jurassic Park 4.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
You guys, I don't watch the news. I actually read it and listen to it. There's this really cool app on my phone that listens to all NPR, BBC, and Fox. Although I'm not a big Fox person, but I actually had a recording, and I wanted to play it while I. So maybe.
Well,
I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do this, but actually I do. I found it.
all right.
So. Well, give it a minute here.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Jurassic Park 4.
No, it was totally appropriate. I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, by the way.
Okay.
So, anyway, it's maybe it's not gonna work. Do you guys remember this? Is it sounding familiar?
Oh yeah.
Okay, dinosaur news. Chicken from hell. They're literally calling this the chicken from hell. I'm gonna give you guys some pictures of this beautiful dinosaur.
All right.
I don't know how beautiful you would think he is. Maybe show it to the other Steve-O here. They're calling it's 11 foot long, 500 pounds, with a beak, no teeth, so it can peck you to death. It's 11 feet long, bird-like.
Oh my gosh.
It's a member of the group called Ovipartosaurus. It's the biggest Ovipartosaurus in North America, and I don't know how to say that. Okay, we're stopping that. Unofficially, the chicken from hell can peck you to death. 68 million to 66 million years ago. Found fossils in North Dakota that started way back in 1999. They just finished finding the rest of the shit from South Dakota. So it was in both. And guess where they found it? Hell Creek. Right?
Chicken from hell. I'm
from
starting
hell.
to see it.
It's not really too cute.
No.
It's kind of creepy.
I want to know if did they add the feathers for effect? How did they know there
I
was
think
feathers?
They know. I think they know from bone structure, how that
feather would have.
Right, you would look at a bird's bone, right, and then you could compare it to a fossil that you find that this is prevalent that they had feathers, whatever.
Holy
They
shit!
were red and purple. I don't
11-foot
know.
flying beak thing. Oh my
It's so
God.
funny. I'm looking at these pictures, and the thing that keeps going through my mind is this was God's experimental phase.
Maybe.
This was God just being what would happen if I did this? And then being I got a smaller version of this that's going to be so much awesomer.
Yeah, it's not cute. I don't even know if I'd call it a chicken. I think I would just call it a velociraptor with feathers and a weird-looking face.
But chicken from hell, that's what they're calling
what
this
they're
right
calling
now.
it.
This was in a scientific journal or something, and they called it
Correct.
chicken from hell.
So
I love scientists today.
paleontologists Matt Lamana and Anzu Wiley, or Wheelie, I don't know, from the Summer and Mythology group, discovered and unveiled this feathered demon, another quote from them.
Ooh, feathered demon.
Yeah, it kind of looks like an ostrich too. I don't know if you're seeing it that way, but so yeah, that's my news about that. I still can't believe you didn't know about that.
This is Fred Flintstone's KFC.
Do you know? Do you know that some people still don't believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah, they're called Mormons.
Yes, that is true. I believe. Yes. Have you seen that? No.
Yeah, it's just because you posted on my Facebook, and thank you for that.
It's actually my friend Spencer showed it to me. He's like a Jack Mormon, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, I still can't believe some people don't believe in dinosaurs. Unbelievable.
What's the reason for not believing in? Like,
I guess they don't believe in fossils and bones. Because they don't know, they didn't get the degree, so they're like, this is just a bone from a human.
Somebody put it there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So there's my news about that.
All right.
Awesome.
Second bit of news I want to bring to the table was and I know you guys probably know about this, but the anti-gay pastor Fred Phelps, who died at 84.
Yes.
He leads like the hate protests, blamed almost everything, including deaths on AIDS victims, U.S. soldiers, tolerance of gay people, whatever.
Good old Westboro.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, in some ways, I was so happy he died, and I hoped it was painful. But in other ways, I was like, oh, should I not be thinking that?
I love the protest of the first protest after. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so the first protest they had after he died, the church went out and they had their banner out and they're out in front of whatever. And then these other guys set up across the street from them and held up a banner that said, "Sorry for your loss."
Oh,
Yeah.
burn!
Right?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was very classic.
Yeah.
That is. That was good.
It was so, and I posted on Facebook and I was like, "Don't fight fire with fire, fight fire with water."
Oh,
Fire
no.
extinguisher,
Oh, my
right?
God.
It's like, oh,
That is awesome.
yeah.
No, I did not know that. I only focused on the negative of this. The Westboro Baptist Church.
No, it'll be interesting to see like how much of like a leader, I guess, that he was to the whole thing, and if they're good, that stuff's going to continue on.
Yeah, like is someone else taking over? Is it
and,
like the Mormon church who are like, he can't speak to God, so who's next in line,
Yeah, the crazy thing to me about that whole organization is that they're really educated people. Like your first thought would be like, oh, okay, they're uneducated, they're just very emotional, whatever. No, they're very thoughtful, like lawyers, and yeah, it's weird.
Well, I don't know if they're thoughtful lawyers, but
No,
they're lawyers.
But they put a lot of thought into what they're doing.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely agreed. But they don't have feelings. So apparently,
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm against that.
Yeah.
And I hate with hate.
You
okay,
hate with hate?
I'm not really.
You hate with
about
hate?
that.
Scare me.
Okay,
I do
so
not want her on the other side.
That bit of news is not so. I mean, it's depressing, but it's also exciting, and that's why I thought that would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I'm just curious to see how what the church is going to do now that they don't have their pastor, and if he's going to fall apart. If he was like the one really pushing all of that stuff, or if they all actually, as a community, agree that we need to be boycotting this and anti-gay this and everything that hardcore. It just, I don't know, that kind of closed-minded stuff always blows me away. So,
me as well.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
The last one.
Say they should just dig his body up and do like Weekend at Bernie's with it.
Oh man, they should.
Did they protest his funeral?
They should have.
Does anybody know?
No,
Somebody no.
I don't know.
I don't even think anybody was like,
Nobody cared. Yeah.
They were
Like
over
how sad
it.
is that too? Nobody cared. I want people to care at my funeral.
Yeah.
It's just jeez.
How pissed off do you think he was that nobody protested his funeral?
I know. He's like, what the all that?
Come
for
on, what did I
nothing?
teach you guys?
Well,
Yeah.
then again, he's obviously in hell if there is one. So that's my opinion.
There you go.
No, the other one was the other bit of news because I didn't want to overwhelm, so I just wanted to bring 3 to start with.
Okay.
Was the MA 370 flight because we're still on day 23.
Yeah,
What?
It just blows my mind.
And my husband's in aviation and he has a lot to say about it. But I don't know. I mean, I still think it was hijacked and there was some shit went wrong and the wrong people died and so they all ended up in the ocean. But I don't know. There's lots of these satellite images that just look like ultrasounds to me. I'm like, is this a baby?
What, is it a boy or a girl? I can't tell.
And then I'm like, oh crap, they're talking about those. It's horrifying.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine we joke about it, the hundreds of people that were on that plane and everything.
230, yeah.
But what blows my mind is we're 3 weeks into this and we have no clue what happened. But somebody knows. Like
Yeah.
We're spying on each other way too much. Somebody's satellite or somebody's new technology saw what happened, but they don't want to say it because they don't want to share that they're doing this.
Well, I do think just like our government that there's like I feel like they might have told all the families like they did with the whole like 9/11 thing, and they took them all in a room and they're like, sign this shit, don't say anything, but we found this.
Right.
Can't say anything, can't release anything until we have a big, huge chunk of evidence that can actually be like, okay, now we can release this to the world. I kind of feel like that's going on right now. It just seems like it because now all of them are kind of quiet after they released that whole.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah. They were like, falling all over the place, as would I. And then it's like as soon as they release that, well, we can confirm that they're like gone, which is like, well, really then? So you know something.
Right.
Well,
That's
and I would hope so. I'd hope the family would get some kind of a closure one way or the other, even if we don't yet. So yeah. It's a really sad thing. But that's my opinion. Somebody knew something on day one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just way too much that we're watching every inch of the world. Different countries are. So yeah.
You know what I hate about this?
What?
If I can hate something about the plane disappearing.
Yeah, let's hate
Please,
it.
let's hate on this. Let's hate.
If I could protest the disappearing plane for a moment.
Sure.
Okay.
It's that the CNN turned into the Malaysian airline network.
Yes.
And every morning I wake up and you turn on the TV and the first thing is they found a new piece of debris in the ocean somewhere, but we can't confirm or deny whether or not. And it's like, stop it. Every morning for the past 2 weeks, it's been the same damn thing. We found something in the ocean. We're not sure if it could be something, could be not something. We're not really sure, but it's something floating out there. So we're going to send some boats to go check it out. They might send some little submarines to little fish it out, but that's going to be a while. We really don't know. Oh, by the way, the clock's ticking on the black box. And we found another little piece of something. Could be something. Could be nothing. I don't know. Might be a little dolphin.
How about when they?
What does that say? Are you waiting for them to be like, Tom, I found a dolphin. We're going to interview him. What did you see today? Well, I was swimming and I was just eating some fish, just chilling, and I saw this debris. Thought I phoned it in.
Thanks, Flipper.
Back to you, John.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you know what tricked me was one of those mornings I woke up and they actually showed debris from an airline, and I was like, oh, and it was just like, remember when this happened?
Stock
Air France?
footage from,
and I'm like, fuck you, like seriously?
Yeah.
I got all like, oh my god, closure, the poor people, the families. Nope, they're just like, hey, this is what's gonna look like when we find your family.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, thanks for that visual.
Yeah, and like a day or two, they were like, did you hear that that's not really what they said? Goodbye, whatever, and it was like goodbye something else.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they're
That's
like
horrible.
Yeah, they're like supposedly the last words were goodbye and good night, but instead it was goodbye something else.
Oh.
And it was like no big deal, and everyone's making this big deal about they lied to us, and I'm like, no, maybe they were paraphrasing. Maybe there was something lost in translation. I don't know.
Obviously, the whole thing is lost in translation.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I mean, sad.
That was a long movie. Lost in Translation.
It was really long.
Yeah, it was a really long movie.
It's like really good, but like you still through the whole thing you're like, wait, what time is it? Oh,
it's so slow.
it is. It's really slow. It was. But I mean, especially if you're a traveler, you can relate. But anyway, I'm sorry to make that news the last sadness.
No, that's okay. I mean,
too bad we didn't have some like
hate on
music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we know what we're going to need for
Carly's going
segment.
to be delivering sad news.
Jeff will have to meet about this later.
Yeah. This has been.
I just want to hear from that dolphin again.
This has been Sad News with Carly.
Oh my god, you should play like Deep Thoughts with Carly, like the theme song.
There we go.
Deep Thoughts. Yeah. That's hilarious.
We should start. The intro music should be like, "Have you had a long day today? Sit down in a bathtub and pull out that razor blade."
Oh my god! And I just delivered sad, shitty news. The SN, shitty news. SN.
All right, we're gonna work on this.
We are.
I'm liking the direction so far, though.
That'll be a segment for sure.
Here's news to put you over the edge with Carly.
You think about killing yourself? Listen to some of these stories.
Oh my gosh.
This should help you out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
1999, you mentioned for this whole dinosaur thing. I was telling Jeff earlier, 1999, 15 years ago, is The Matrix came out this past weekend.
What? I'm old.
Yeah, so I'm going to suggest, Jeff, that I think 1999 might have been a amazing pivotal point in movies, period. I'm going to read you out of a list, both of you, of movies that came out in 1999.
Okay.
And how they changed.
Are you
99.
sure not 97? Because in 93, Jurassic Park? Okay, go on. Go on.
We're done with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Sixth Sense came out in '99. That changed the whole twist at the end thing.
Yeah.
You saw that with every movie after that.
Yeah.
American Beauty came out.
Yeah.
Masturbating in the shower.
Masturbating in the shower was okay again.
It is okay for you to do that
Again,
now.
you know.
Great.
George Lucas did Star Wars 1. Stanley Kubrick did Eyes Wide Shut that year.
Oh gosh.
Fight Club, American Pie, and
God.
I picked out some other ones. Office Space that everybody quotes.
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
Came out
yep.
then.
Yep.
The Blair Witch Project.
Oh god.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
that was-
low budget,
Oh,
huge
God.
thing. And then there was a few other ones that were just fun ones. Galaxy Quest,
Yes.
which is probably one of my favorite, like sci-fi, fake, real, the Comic-Con, everything
I
about that.
remember when
That
that
is a
came
really funny movie. And then 10 Things I Hate About You came out, and the only reason I bring that up,
love.
Heath Ledger and Jennifer
Yeah.
or Julia Stiles, but that was the biggest like teen comedy type thing since the 80s, and it spawned a whole year's
Web of 'em.
worth of
Yeah.
them afterwards. So.
Tons of them after.
And those all came out in '99, so it was a huge year for these.
Weird how he plays, Heath Ledger, JGL, and then they play together in
Oh, yeah.
Batman.
In Batman.
How sad,
Yes, yeah. So there you go.
Those are good movies.
Those are all really good movies. All came out that year, and a lot of them did affect. I mean,
Yeah,
Sixth Sense,
definitely.
the Blair Witch Project, and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
else. So yeah.
That's a really good point. Although, 93 Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
is saying-
1993 was the first year I lived in Japan.
Oh.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
1993 was when
Did you
my
see
dad.
it in Japan then?
No, actually, this goes back to our very first podcast episode. We talked about the very first movie I ever saw in a theater was the Three Musketeers that Disney or whatever redid.
Oh, with Steve.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Steve and
Oh, that was 90. It was 94
Wow,
or
that's, like,
something.
old,
yeah,
yeah.
But that was the
94.
first time I ever had seen a movie in a theater, and that was when we were living
With
on
Steve
a
and then
military
Martin.
base in Japan. Sheen.
No? Am I right? No?
Charlie Sheen. It was
No,
Charlie
you're
Sheen
thinking of
and
Three Amigos.
I am.
You're thinking of Three
You're right.
Amigos.
I'm not in
No,
the
no.
same boat
I'm
as
thinking,
you all.
no, different
No.
boats, same
I'd
paddles.
like to see that now. Three Musketeers
Yeah.
with Steve Martin.
Yeah, that was
My
great.
bad. My
Yeah,
bad.
no, Charlie Sheen and I can't remember who all else, but that was the first movie I saw in a theater. I have never seen Jurassic Park in a theater. And you went and saw it, Jeff,
Yeah,
right?
last
When they
year
re-released
actually.
it
Yeah,
last
I'm
year.
getting ready
Yeah.
to go to NAB, which is this big video nerd convention in Vegas
right.
for all the new cameras and gear and stuff like that. So last year when I went was when Jurassic Park came out in IMAX. Yeah, so
I remember that.
So I went and saw it there, and the thing about me is I didn't get a chance to see it in the movie theaters. So the only time I really ever saw it was on like a 19-inch VHS, right? So I never really appreciated the full scope of that movie. So I went and saw it in IMAX 3D, and I'm
That is
typically not
interesting.
a big 3D guy.
Me neither.
But oh my gosh, especially the IMAX sound,
Oh, I bet.
and it was so it
So
was
the
so
T-Rex in that
Yeah.
had to be
Oh,
so
yeah.
different.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
and you really appreciate how much depth
Mhm.
Spielberg puts in his movies. Just
The score too
Yeah.
is by far
it's-
amazingness.
And we're
Yep.
talking a movie 20 years old.
yeah,
Thank
remember-
you.
You know?
See?
Does it still
Amazing.
Yeah, it was so amazing.
Yeah, and the thing for me when I
Way ahead
saw
of
it is I thought, oh, I've seen this movie 100 times, and it's really not going to mean that much to me. But it meant so much to me that I sat like stunned through the end of the credits, just because the music was so moving,
Yes,
and you're
the
so
score
just
is amazing.
blown away by
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
incredible experience that it's the best theater experience ever for me.
I know.
And it's a movie I'd
I-
seen 100 times before.
I bet that was just
Yeah.
amazeballs.
Yeah, no, and we were talking about. I really like the idea of the re-releases. I went and saw Back to the Future when they re-released it a couple of years ago in
Cool.
the theater, which was just cool, and it's a fun movie, but it's
Yeah.
a lot more fun when you're in a huge crowd
Oh,
and you're all
yeah,
laughing at
for
the
sure.
same thing. And
Did
stuff
you do
like
the
that.
ride in Florida?
Yes,
That's
I
really
did.
cool.
Yeah, the Back to
Really
the Future
cool.
ride in Florida.
I don't know if it's still there, but
No, it was actually replaced with the Simpsons ride now.
Oh,
Is it?
okay.
Okay.
That was really I just aged
They always
myself.
do that. They always.
Yeah, because they had the Twister one for a while too at Universal Studios. I
Before
did
that,
that
it used
one.
to be the backdraft.
I was just gonna
Oh,
say. I was
yeah,
just gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
that.
Before actually, the Terminator
That
used to
was
be a
so cool.
Ghostbuster one.
Oh,
Backdraft
huh.
was seriously so cool. Not just the movie, but the studio at the Universal Studios.
The
man.
actual backdrop.
Wow. Yeah.
Cool.
The
Actual
actual
backdraft.
fire that kills people.
All right. Another segment idea that I had was we could have Carly read like song lyrics seductively or something.
Oh, didn't Sam do that?
Yeah.
In improv once?
He did that in improv once, where he read the song lyrics just like straight faced.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, he did it
No
humorously.
emotion.
We want sexy.
Yeah, we want sexy
Oh,
for me
excuse
though.
me.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
well.
No, so
I'll have
so
to go change. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so get into character.
get in
Okay,
character.
all right,
yeah.
all right.
Well,
So-
describe what you're wearing.
yeah.
Steve-O, do you have
Good
some
idea.
wine? Thank you.
I think I do.
Yes, actually.
And make sure the cat's around. This will all be perfect.
I'll be
Carly,
like,
Carly
you know
needs,
what? 12A, they're coming over here all the
This is the new
I'm gonna
show.
say.
Carly needs a cat to get in the mood. That's funny.
Yeah, that just goes to tell you that I'm truly a cat person and a cat lady. And I could die with 17 cats, and I would be perfectly
And
happy.
you'd be totally happy. Your
I would.
husband's long gone.
Oh,
and,
yeah, he
he's
died. My kids
yeah.
are left the nest. Me and 17 cats, we could make it work.
17 cats and some red wine, and you're set.
Oh,
It just
yeah.
becomes like a street gang. They're called the Catastrophes.
Snap all the time.
Someday they make an Oscar Broadway based on her life.
Oh, jeez. It's really a sad one. Can Benedict Cumberbatch play in it?
Of
Yes.
course.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd be
Yeah,
your
he'll be the
husband.
milkman that walks by. What the fuck is this?
I'm okay with that. I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
it's a cameo appearance. That,
Yeah.
Oh my
this
God.
famous guy
Everyone
has
just
in the
has walk on.
movie. Yes.
Carly and the cats and the milkman.
Oh, that's
As
awesome.
long as I can have sex with the milkman, we're good. We are good.
You're good.
It might not be pretty.
gonna
There'll be a whole
happen.
bunch of cats around.
Cumberbatch is like, I've never been surrounded by this many pussies.
Oh my god, gross. True. True.
I have a feeling he would not say that.
No, I don't.
This might be your dirtiest show yet with me.
He would say something sexy, but I have to say for me liking him, loving him, obsessing with him so much, I can't handle an English accent for so long. So for specifically a man, a woman's even worse. But the man is like, it's cute for like, you listen to like Chris Martin from Coldplay talk. You're like, oh okay, and then about like 10 seconds into it, you're like, this shit is annoying.
Gotta move on.
Why are you talking like that? My friend Carl has this friend who's very, very English, and I have to leave the room. I have to leave the room.
You have to excuse
Wow.
yourself.
I'm like, okay, great. It was good to see you. Okay, bye-bye.
Which is interesting because you've actually traveled the world. So, like, what do you do like when you're in England?
Well,
I need
you
some
kind
alone
of just,
time.
I guess, deal with it, because that's your environment. But when you're in America, you kind of become American asshole, and you're like, stop.
Get out of my
Stop. This is annoying. Why are you talking like this?
Hot damn it.
Oh, what's your problem?
Same with French. I couldn't deal with it for so long,
Them damn French and
I'm trying to think of an accent I could deal with, and it's probably like Latin or any Latin language. Well, yeah, Italian or Spanish, because my family is, so
Right.
I'm used to that.
Right.
It's because I'm not used to the white people,
I'm not used to the white people.
I guess you'd have to know I'm not white over this
Hey, you know now, I
podcast.
guess. Yeah.
So,
damn white people.
Well,
White
so
people.
annoying.
get me down. Jeff, I have a second base for $1. Do you have a film history? Should we move on with this before
yeah.
we drag this out for another 2 more hours of fun?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
There we go.
This is a little segment we like to call How to Get to Second Base for $1. Oh, yeah.
The Circle K by our house has 2 red boxes.
Yeah.
The Walmart by our house has 1.
Yep.
I almost for the third week picked About Time again.
Oh,
I actually
no.
had to dig deep like 4 or 5 pages over before I found this movie, and I've never ever heard of it before, so this was a risk. But it was a 2013 Tribeca Film Festival starring Justin Long, and he has screenwriting credit for it too.
Okay.
It's called A Case of You.
Okay.
I'm going to read this description, Jeff. You tell me if this reminds you of anything.
Okay.
A young writer falls in love with a coffee barista. In an attempt to make her love him, he becomes the perfect date based on her Facebook profile. Using stuff from her profile to, become her perfect date. He then needs to live up to this perfect guy when she does fall in love with him.
Yeah.
The first half of this movie was just like that screenplay that
you
I
wrote.
wrote. Yes. Yeah.
What?
When we were in a screenwriting class together at Scottsdale
Yeah.
Community College, yes. I wrote this screenplay, and the
Yeah.
chick that was in it, yes, she was
She was
this
a barista,
barista,
yeah.
and he was this other guy. And the first half of this movie was just
Did
like
you write
that. Yeah.
him and be like, asshole, you stole
Listen,
my idea?
Justin, I don't know how you got my copy of this screenplay, but yes. So it's the girl was Evan Rachel Wood, which I don't know what else she was in or anything.
What? She's in tons of stuff.
Okay, well, I had no clue. I honestly didn't recognize her. She had really short blonde hair and this and everything.
Oh, she has
so.
an English accent.
Yeah.
I know the movie.
Okay.
You wouldn't like
Creepy.
What's his
You
name
wouldn't
in
like
it? The Shia LaBeouf.
No,
different one.
no.
But that's a new one
Okay.
coming out. Sorry, go on. Backtrack.
Anyways, for Game of Thrones fans, Peter Dinklage is in it. Who's
he's great.
He's great, and he plays another barista in it, and his hair and everything else. I fall in love with side characters in movies all the time because they're my favorite. So he was hilarious in this, and then Vince Vaughn plays Justin Long's boss in it, and he's only in a few scenes, but they're just great scenes. So, anyways, he's a book writer, and he writes the books based off of the movies. So if the movie was successful, they have him write the book so that they may actually write out the book. So he's a horrible, and he's trying to write his own book, and he can't get around to it. Falls in love with this girl, stalks her on Facebook to find out everything she loves, and learns it. Judo, artist, tries playing guitar, all of this stuff, and she ends up falling in love with him. And it's your typical. Then he realizes she loves this version of him and not the real version, and they have to break up and all this. There's a great scene though with Vince Vaughn. Where he's telling about this book and how great the book is, and it's comparing how Justin Long and Vince Vaughn see the main characters in the book in the end, and it's a perfect twist on Justin Long wrote this book thinking this one thing about the character, but how somebody else can read the exact same thing but think something totally opposite of it. And so it's awesome because at the end all of a sudden Justin steps back, his character steps back and realizes, oh, this is what's going on, and gets the girl in the end and everything like that. So it's a really good romantic comedy, and it does have really funny parts. I mean, Vince Vaughn and Peter Dinklage were the comedy in this thing. Just the comedy of the fact this guy's trying to learn judo to impress a girl and stuff too.
What's it called again?
It's called A Case of You.
Okay.
Case of You.
Yeah, it was about 4 or 5 deep into the RedBox because otherwise I was going to pick About Time again.
For the third time.
So good.
It is, and twice
I cry
now.
every scene.
2
I haven't
podcasts in a row I have suggested that because it's great. It's great. And now here I'm talking about it again.
Yeah.
It's great because whether you want to fix up the relationship with a girl or if it's just a relationship about you and your father or just, sister and brother, whatever relationship, it's just
or
everything
just
about
put
the
all that
movie.
aside and it's just a really
It's just
good
a
movie
really
about
good-
about life and how you should appreciate everything.
Exactly.
It's short,
Appreciate
it's just
every
short.
single day.
Every moment, even the pain.
Okay.
Well, I think part of it too is just that it's such an under the radar movie that not a lot of people are talking about. That makes it worth talking a couple weeks about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go. So today's something different. A Case of You. Definitely has got the comedy in it, and definitely romance. You'll get to second base with this one. I'm sure you will.
Case of You.
Case of You.
Excellent.
Yes.
Very
in
good.
the RedBox. You want to film history me up?
Well, you want to do some Netflix stuff first?
Oh, yeah. Well, we can.
Or
But have you watched anything at all?
Yes.
Okay, because as far as I know, you've just been a Walking Dead. That's it. You haven't.
Has he watched Sherlock
He hasn't watched
yet?
Sherlock
Oh,
yet. No,
God.
Carly. He hasn't watched Sherlock.
No,
I don't have time. I have 7 children. Oh, that's right. I don't have any
children.
kids.
No, I have a wife who's working on her master's degree. And I
Right,
only
so
see her
she's
5
studying
minutes
a lot in
per
that
day.
So
classes,
you
so you have a lot of free
to
time.
watch the show.
I know, but she's gonna like it, so I don't want to waste a show that
No,
we're both
you'll
gonna
like it so much that you'll watch it again with her.
Which is exactly what happened. I watched the first
Yeah.
season
Same with me
without
and
my
Carl.
wife.
Same with me and Carl.
And then I
I was
watched
like,
the
"You
whole
gotta
season
see
again
this."
with her. I was like,
Yep.
you got to see this, babe. I can't watch you more without you.
too.
You're going to love it.
Okay.
All right, you're done. It's done. You gotta watch it.
So, what did you watch on Netflix
Okay,
this
so
week, Jeff?
here's the other thing though. Once you talk up a show that much, it's
you're
not
too
gonna,
much expectations.
It's not gonna be that good.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I know what you're saying.
I know what you're
wanna
saying, but it's still going to be
I know,
pretty
but
good.
it's so
not
freaking
gonna be,
awesome.
maybe it's not that great, but it's still going to be really good.
It's unique. You
So
know, I
it
told
is,
you
so.
about all those things that are unique about it, and you were
Right.
like, yeah. I told you. I did.
Yeah. No, I'm interested. It's just people keep playing.
Does
it
that
up.
ever happen to you in the opposite effect? You know, you're talking about how you'll talk too much about something and you work it up and you go see it and you're like, Jesus, everyone talked this up and now it's... But has it ever been the opposite for you? Carl, my husband, does this all the time. He's like, oh, you guys, this thing happened. And he's describing it. I'm so into it. I'm like, this is awesome. I go and see it and I'm like, Carl, you were better than they were.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
describing it? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, no, it wasn't good. But you would say it
Yeah.
good.
No, Steve's that way for me.
Oh. I
Steve will be
see.
like, "Oh, this movie's great. It's
Right,
second
right,
base
and
for a
then-
dollar." I'm sure
yeah.
there's been a couple of them. I'll watch the movie and I'll be like, Steve's performance was a lot better.
Steve got me to second base
Yeah.
better.
That's why I stopped trying to promote things as Christopher Walken's.
There you go, yes. All right, so what have you watched on Netflix this past couple of weeks?
Nothing. That's it.
I knew it. See?
No, they added a new season of the regular show. Have you guys seen that? Yes.
I
Okay.
love regular show.
Yeah.
No.
They added
It's good.
It's a
Season
cartoon.
two.
Funny. It's
Oh,
funny. Funny.
It's a jaybird. Oh, I can talk about this all day. It's a jaybird and a raccoon, and
weird.
they work at a park, and their boss is a gumball machine.
Yeah, and they're like interact like humans.
Yes.
It's
You got
totally
High
normal.
Five Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got Skips, who's played by Mark Hamill.
Oh my god.
I'm going to admit this. It's not kid appropriate, but I let my children
there's
watch
so
it.
many. No, that's what I love about that and Adventure Time.
Yes,
kids
I know.
are like, yeah,
I
this
know,
is great, but
I know,
there's so
but then
many
it's-
jokes that go over.
Yeah,
the
Oh,
over
yeah,
their head.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's where it's
fantastic.
okay because a lot of stuff does, but then there's some stuff you're like, oh, I hope they don't repeat that. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll say so. Like they'll even say like, oh, that sucks or that blows and stuff like that. You're like, what? Wow, cartoons have gotten away with a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, regular show. Highly recommend
It's
it.
good.
Okay. All right. All right.
Regular show and another cartoon I never got into when it was on, but like I'm just now like starting to get into is Futurama. Have you ever watched that show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get into it now.
Because I kind of had Family Guy, which was kind of a show you kind of
Mm-hmm.
throw on every once in a while, but I kind of got Family Guy'd out, and so I I can't watch this anymore. And so so this has been Futurama. And I wanted to watch you ever flipping through Netflix and you're like, I want to watch something like really freaking old that I haven't seen
Yes,
in
definitely.
forever, just to see like the very first episode.
Yeah.
So I watched Wings.
Oh my God! Wait!
Wow.
I'm trying to think of the song in the beginning. I loved it. I don't know what it was.
It's just like a piano.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah.
Daily.
It's like
Really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church is a crazy mechanic, and
Yes.
Yep.
Tony Schwab before Monk, and
Yes.
Oh, I forgot he is in that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a good one.
Okay.
So, anyway, you?
The only thing new, the tag that I've been watching is An Idiot Abroad.
Oh, is that good?
It-
It's in my queue. I haven't-
Really
is
good.
it? Okay.
Yeah. I tried getting into. I can't get into documentaries. I was flipping through them, thought I'd watch a documentary and be smart or something. It ain't gonna
Be
happen.
smart.
No.
I like
So,
that.
An Idiot Abroad, though, yeah, you've got to watch it. You'll love it, Jeff. It's like the perfect traveling
I've
show,
heard about
and
it.
he's so blunt in it. What is the guy? It's Ricky Gervais, but he sends his buddy. Oh, Carl Pinkerton is the one that he sends, and he's just so blunt about stuff. There was
Yeah, like he just does not want to do anything,
No.
and they force him into things.
it's so great. And there's this entire one where he's in Thailand, and he's sitting next to some girls that were boys and stuff, and they're explaining the whole process, and he can't fathom why you would want to do that, and he just says the most blunt things to him, and it's hilarious.
It's like awkward.
It's awkward
and,
for him,
yeah,
and he doesn't
yeah.
know what to do or how to
Yeah.
act. He's this English guy, and so he just
Oh,
says
he's
what's
English.
on his mind.
He's not American.
No, he's this English guy, and he
Okay.
just says what's on his mind, and
That's great.
it's so great. Yeah, but An Idiot Abroad. So if you haven't watched it, you definitely got to watch
still
it.
is it still new or is it like already all done?
I don't know because the last season that they have on Netflix is from 2012. It's got
Oh,
3
so it could
seasons on
still be
Netflix, so it
going.
could still
Who
be.
knows?
But I don't
Okay,
know. Yeah,
well I'll
yeah.
check that out.
But yeah, there's plenty of episodes.
Oh,
in
they
An
actually
Idiot
put
Abroad.
all 3 seasons on?
Yeah, all 3 seasons are on Netflix
Yeah.
right now.
Okay,
yeah.
because they
Yeah.
always seem to do that with certain. They're like, hey, it's on.
Yep.
Oh, it's one season.
Yep.
It's a single season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that with Sherlock for a
They
while.
just actually did
Yes.
that with House. House is all full seasons.
Oh really?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Sherlock. Let's see. What do they have? Because I've got it. They just have the 2 seasons of Sherlock. But good old PBS. They got.
That's
a
why.
free,
Yeah, I watch on PBS.
Yeah, free.
yeah.
Well, in my Roku, they've got a free app. I can just stream
Oh
it right
wait,
on there.
I don't
yeah.
watch it on PBS. I watch it on BBC. I'm an idiot. So I just DVR it off BBC.
Off the BBC
PBS channel 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Okay, so
I have to leave, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's time for her to jet out on us,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So tonight was the one night that she had to find a babysitter for a kid because her husband flew to Florida. What the heck?
Yeah, business. And then my
Ugh.
mom decided to go to Louisiana to visit her family, and then my dad, we won't go there.
okay.
So I had to hire a babysitter.
Oh, I was
I
gonna
know
say,
that did sound kind
do
of
we
weird.
know?
Steve will give me a look like, I don't. Do I
This
want
is
to
the first
know?
time I meet her, so I'm all like, I know a little. I'm like getting Cliff Notes.
All I know
But I'm the guy who got the Cliff Notes that half the pages were ripped out. So I'm all like,
You're like, I
Kill a
hope I
Mockingbird,
passed this
Boo
test.
Rowley, I'm not gonna pass this test. That's all I know.
I bet you
There's
could pass the test. You know what? We should do a test next time, and then you should answer questions and try to pass the
And
test.
someone
Let's
just
see.
threw Moby
Gotcha.
Dick in here. This is
this is
Moby
not
Dick.
going well. Yes.
We're gonna do a new segment called "What Did Steve Learn About Carly?"
every week.
Every week. Wow, I'm
Whoa,
that
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
She likes cats.
She has
Yeah,
cats.
that'll be
Poop.
Cats and
Poop from a second-story
cats.
building.
Look, I've been very
Poop.
busy. I got an
Kids.
Xbox One, been playing Titanfall. I can't.
Can't multitask here.
Oh, that's great. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was fun.
Okay,
Thanks,
good.
Carly. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. I do think that we should definitely do the depressing news thing.
Okay, shitty news.
Shitty news
whatever
from
news.
Carly.
Yeah.
Wait, shitty news
The
from
news
Carly.
to put you over the edge.
No, what was the other one?
What did you say?
What did you say, Steve-O?
I said experimental.
Experimental news.
Experimental
Oh,
news.
it's
That's
horrible.
that's all I do. That's all. I just come up with names. For
Hey, where's Steve? Call him up. Wait, so
We
you
need a
can name
segment
this
name.
for us.
Everybody has a gift.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the concept? Okay, all right. Purple monkey dishwasher.
Machine Gun Kelly. No, wait, that's already named.
It's a show about a guy who tries to break the world record of eating the amount of pudding in a day.
Bill Cosby hosts.
I'm envisioning
great.
this. I'm
That's
envisioning
great.
this.
The Mile High Pudding Club.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
Lovely.
Nicely done. All right, Carly, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Yes,
Ciao.
thanks.
No
Sayonara.
wrap.
Have a good one.
All right, beautiful. Well, Jeff, I think this is going. It might go pretty well then with Carly. What do you think?
I'm not gonna say until she's gone.
Oh, you want to talk in front
Yeah,
of her?
no,
All right,
yeah.
We're getting.
No,
we're getting a
good.
2 thumbs
Yeah.
up from Steve-O, so that's a good thing. So see you
Well,
later.
I'll,
Love
if you want, I can tell you the story what happened with Matt.
you.
We did the same. Oh yeah, if you need to take your beer, it's just in the fridge. I mean, in the studio break room.
Right.
That's right.
Trying to say that. So basically, Matt came on, promoted his first show, and then he leaves. And then Eric walks up to me after the show after he left. He's like, "Okay, I know he's your friend. You know him since high school." I'm like, "Oh shit." Eric's gonna rip him a new one. I'm like, I thought Matt did fantastic tonight. Oh no,
Oh.
no! And he's all like, I really like Matt. You want to put him on the show? I'm all like, why would you say it like that? Why
What
do
a
you...
setup.
Yeah.
That'd be like a doctor walking out like, all right, I don't know how to tell you. Oh shit!
Yeah. I'm
What, I
dying.
got cancer?
Ah,
Oh no!
no.
Your penis is enormous.
You have an above average dick size.
Oh.
Huh. Okay
Why would
then.
you say it like that?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
yeah.
funny.
So, anyways, that would be the worst. Yeah, interesting. The news. Well, Jeff, we're getting closer to our hour here and everything. So, you got some film history though?
I do have
Did you
some
say you
film
did?
history. Yes.
All right. Let's
ready?
play
Here we
this
go.
on. You got it.
It's time for This Week in Film History.
Okay, so I was telling you before the show, like I had this film history that it's. Remember when we did Thomas Ince, and he was
Yeah.
like the guy who died under these mysterious circumstances.
Mhm.
So I have this and I ended up researching it so much that I realized I didn't do enough research for the show. So I want to keep reading about it.
Okay.
But it's about this this couple, and it was like during the scandalous Hollywood years, right? And it's a murder, but you have like this tons of like characters and suspects, and it's like all these different characters. So it's gonna be fun when we do it. So
You're pimping out
I'm
a
pimping out,
different
yeah, I'm pimping- yeah.
film history. Okay.
Yeah. So I ended up
This boring film history
yeah.
though is.
So, in a very less entertaining film history, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite actors, Buster Keaton, writer, director, right? So, I talk about him all the time, how much I love his movies and stuff like that. So, the thing about him, though, is like he was this great auteur, director, writer, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually the funding ended and his contract was pretty much handed over to MGM, where he just died. Pretty much,
Mhm.
he went there and they basically MGM didn't want Buster Keaton and his creativity. They just wanted the brand. They wanted the brand Buster Keaton, the name that would sell movies that they could put above a title and people would go see it because it's a Buster Keaton movie. So they went there and they just kept stripping his creativity away from him. And at the same time, like his marriage was going downhill until finally it ended. So his last movie that he did for MGM starring was this movie called What? No Beer?
That was the title of the movie. What? No beer? I'm googling this right now.
Yeah,
this is
that's
awesome.
that's
What?
that's
No
the
beer.
name, like with punctuation and everything. What? No beer?
1933 IMDb.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What? No beer. So they started pairing him with this guy Jimmy Durante, who's like this. He's kind of a big loudmouth comedian, and watching this movie, like having seen so many movies of Buster Keaton in his prime, and then watching this. This was literally the last movie he made before they said, okay, this is enough. And they fired him. And then he went on this like years long binge where he kind of blacked out for a while. he got married and doesn't even recall it.
Oh, wow.
Married and divorced and
That's
has
a
like
good
no
binge.
memory of it. Yeah. And then finally he ended up having this resurgence where he became like a writer, and he actually helped people like Red Skeleton and Laurel Hardy, and like so he actually ended up having this like third act to his career that was like really incredible that most celebrities don't get
a chance to.
But this was like at the end of like they pretty much studio, everybody just kind of buried this guy into the ground. And what's interesting about this movie is you can really see the guy who's at the end of his rope. So literally you find, if you read about the movie, you find out that he was pretty much hungover or drunk every day that he was filming, and it was constant. Like they had to delay it for a short period of time because he was just too bad. But this guy who is a genius, you can see he's just like off kilter. He's not really speaking right, and he's just kind of there, and he's really aloof and just really bizarre. But here's the thing, and I think this is the thing that killed Buster Keaton more than anything. Not only did all this shit go down and get really bad, this movie was really successful.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
He did
His
not.
final.
Yeah.
He didn't think it was going to be?
No.
Oh, wow.
He did not want to be there. He hated the script. He hated and it's a really bad movie.
Is it really? I was wondering if did you actually watch?
I watched the movie. Yeah, and it's a really bad movie. The thing is it's one of those things. Like I told you, I have this idea. I want to make. I'd love to go to Hollywood and like make movies about remake movies, but you know how they take a really good movie and they do a worse job remaking it?
Yes.
I want to take really bad movies that had good ideas and like remake them into good movies.
Good movies. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So they had a good idea there. It's like during Prohibition, and people kind of vote for Prohibition to end, but it hasn't been officially ended, so they think that they can get away with making beer. So they secretly buy a brewery and start making beer. And then they get in trouble with the mob, and there's all this kind of comedy of error stuff kind of going on. So there were some good ideas there, but it's a bad movie.
Okay, I might put you on the spot. If you remade that movie, who would you cast?
I think it would be a really good Will Ferrell movie.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would be a good like tag team. Like you'd really want to do like Will Ferrell and Owen Wilson or something like
Jack
that.
Black,
yeah,
like
or typically, yeah. If you want to do kind of the same, I don't know, like get a loudmouth comedian.
Did they have like the straight guy, and then the more comedian guy? Or no, it was two.
Sort of, yeah. But I mean, Jimmy Durante had handled more of the dialogue comedy, whereas Keaton tried to handle more of the physical comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe.
I could see a Jack
so
Black doing physical comedy really well.
Maybe Will Ferrell and Jackie Chan. That might be an interesting combination.
Okay,
right?
yeah. I like it.
This
Okay.
movie became a really good martial arts flick.
Yes,
midway through.
Wow, right in the middle there.
Well, actually, Jackie Chan loved silent film. In fact, he loved Buster Keaton. In fact, if you watch, what's the Western he did with Owen Wilson?
Shanghai Nights,
Shanghai Noon. Yeah, right.
Noon,
So there's
really good movies actually.
Yeah, I love that movie. So Shanghai Noon, there's actually a bonus feature that has like Jackie Chan stuff intercut with Buster Keaton stuff because he studied Keaton so much in terms of his physical comedy and how to do stuff like that.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was a big Keaton fan. So anyways, what's interesting is Keaton and Durante, this was like their third pairing together. And all three of the movies, very successful. I haven't watched the other two, but as I understand, bad movies. So if you can imagine, like, in his prime, he made movies that weren't nearly as successful as these box office shitty successes that he has.
Right.
And if that doesn't, as an artist, as an entertainer, doesn't want you to put your head through a wall or something, it's like, what? So, what? No beer. What? No beer?
Yeah.
The other part that I thought was really funny is there was one scene where they're trying to get people to vote to end prohibition. So it's to vote to get wet. So there's this one scene where this car pulls up and parks, and it's literally covered bumper to bumper with get wet stickers. And I'm like,
this is 1933.
Yeah,
that's
I'm like,
awesome.
Wasn't there a code back then. No, this was after that. Okay, yeah. That's actually an interesting thing too, because there's a interesting site that you can go on called Pre-Code, and it's before the Hays Code. The Hays Code is where they brought out all of the, you don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. All the laws that they weren't allowed to follow.
Okay.
So this was like just before that. And there's one scene in the movie where Keaton is in love with this girl, and she comes into his office, and it's just the two of them, and he accidentally like douses her with water and like gets all over her, and so she's like, well, I guess I have to take my dress off. So she's like stripping in front of him, and he's uncomfortable, and she's like, what, you have a problem with this? And he's like, no. And so like you don't see like nudity, but it's like stripped down to like skivvies and pretty revealing, especially for the time.
For an 80-year-old movie,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. What?
Wow,
No beer?
Totally
We
fascinated.
should just call that. We should just make that a podcast. name.
Yeah. What?
No beer?
No beer?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to put the walking accent.
Yeah.
It fits. It fits.
That's awesome. Okay, then. And it was a successful movie. And that was the end of his acting career, though, pretty much.
It was the last. It was literally the last quote starring movie that he had in a movie. He did come back, of course, and he did a bunch of TV appearances. He had like a cameo in Chaplin's Limelight. He was in It's a Mad World, and a few some shorts and epiphorial films and stuff like that. But this was like the last feature length. And Jimmy, even though Buster Keaton has the title billing, it was really more Durante's movie, and Keaton was kind of the sidekick. But it was his last.
He was using his name, though, for,
Yep. Yep.
Good to know. See, I learn things all the time during film history. I might give you shit for it, but I like it, Jeff. I'll be honest.
Oh, thank you.
No, I was like, wow.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's cool
I'm
stuff.
learning tonight.
Yes, yeah, right, yeah.
I need to, because on Friday I'm going to lose a shit. Because my show, I think, makes people dumber.
So I have one last thing I want to go over. It's the first
Okay.
of the month, so I wanted to go through some of the new stuff that's available on Netflix.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So
What'd they
let
get
me
rid
kind
of
of
and
go
come into?
through some of
Run
this
me
list,
through.
and both of you chime in on this. So let me go through the list, and I want to hear from you guys, like what's the first thing you're going to put in your queue and watch from this.
Okay.
There's a lot of like high profile stuff that's out this month too. So Rocky 1 through 5, Braveheart, The Fifth Element, For a Few Dollars More, Amistad, Point Blank, which I think is probably going to be the first one in my queue. The 99 Thompson Crown Affair, The Yards, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, a bunch of the Death Wish movies, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Muppets Take Manhattan, got to throw that in there. The Robe, Coneheads, if you remember that from 93.
Wow.
Ali, let me see, Scary Movie 3, Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. I don't know, that sounds interesting though. Oh, Mean Girls is in there. Spanglish, which is a very good movie.
I've not seen that.
Click, the
I
Adam
saw that.
Sandler.
Yeah.
that
Close
was-
Encounters of the Third Kind.
Ooh.
Steel Magnolias, which I'm sure you guys are gonna jump
right on
to.
top of that one, yes.
Put that, and as you mentioned earlier, Steve, House, also 3 seasons of Bob's Burger,
Yes.
a bunch of Baby Genius stuff,
I can't watch that anymore.
and the other thing that they've added too that's really cool is a couple of the Oscar-winning movies. The one that won Best Documentary, 20 Feet from Stardom, which is about backup singers. And then the one that won Best Short Documentary is up there too, which is Room. Shoot, I don't see it now. It's Room something. It's about a Holocaust survivor and how she was the oldest living Holocaust survivor. She's passed since the making of the movie, actually, but it's about her and how her and her friends used music to get them through the concentration camp during the Holocaust. So it's a decent short.
Oh, wow.
Oh, here we go. Lady Number 6, Music Saved My Life. That's what it's called. So, all right. So, what are you guys going to be adding to your queue?
Well,
this week?
did you say Point Blank?
Yeah, Point Blank.
I thought Point Break, and I because Point Break, I would have.
That's what I thought it was too.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, no Point because
Point, but I was thinking Point Break.
I was
too.
probably going to get shit on for this. I've still not seen that movie.
Yeah,
Wait, Point Break or
Break.
Blank?
Oh, Point Blank I own, but Point Break I've never
Point
seen.
Break,
No,
yeah,
I'm just
the
kidding.
Patrick
I don't own the other one,
Swayze,
but
Keanu Reeves, little surf movie, yeah.
Which
so,
was directed by the same woman who did what was the Jeremy Renner military movie that won the Oscar?
Oh yeah, James Cameron's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Damn it, what's her name? Totally blanking on it now. Oh well, whatever. What was the first couple? Because
the Rocky movies, Braveheart, Fifth Element.
Fifth Element's such a good movie.
Yeah,
I've
Fifth
seen it
Element's
so
good.
many times.
I have to watch Braveheart because I fell asleep during it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of
I
a
probably
epic.
should watch some Rocky films if I'm going to keep doing Sylvester
It's
Stallone
it's all of the Rocky films. Yeah, see that would.
Well, 1 through 5.
Okay.
Yeah, then they made the Rocky
Balboa
like a few years
was
ago.
that
Yeah,
6?
so that would have been 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to check some of those. Well, for sure, Fifth Element's going to be on there. That's just a very entertaining sci-fi movie. So, period.
The Hurt Locker, that's what it was called.
Yeah, but what's her name?
I've never seen that.
That directed that. It's such a good movie.
That's great.
Well, wasn't she married to James Cameron?
Yeah, Catherine Bigelow.
That's it. Yes, yes. And well, because she was married to James Cameron, and then she also was that what she ended up winning an award for that beat out Cameron?
Yeah, so she beat her ex-husband who did Avatar that year.
That's what it was. Yes, yeah, because he did Avatar, and she ended up winning for the Hurt Locker that year. Yeah, and then she did Zero Dark 30, which was also a really good on the whole trying to capture Bin Laden thing. So, which was a really good movie too. But anyways, all right. Well, that's a lot of good lists. But no, yeah, I think Fifth Element's gonna be my first choice there.
Yep. Mean Girls. I've actually never seen Mean Girls. I'm gonna have to.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
I've
really?
heard.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like it's very rare for me to like something. Like kind of like on that kind of like actually a really good one was with Steve Carell. I think it was Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh yes, and that was good. I
actually
liked
watched
that one.
it and I was very surprised. I was like, I actually like this. So,
Yeah.
Was that funny?
It
yeah,
was.
it had a lot of good. And Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling in it. Like I've never seen him in anything prior to Drive. So Drive, I was all like,
It's also such a different movie, but that's a really good one too. I really love.
But
Drive.
then I saw him in this. I was like, oh, okay, he can act. Because all he did in Drive was like,
yeah,
I'm gonna kill
very
you.
few lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, just beat the shit out of people.
Yeah.
So.
though
But-
to be fair, I don't think he could take on Ron Perlman.
No. But yeah, no, Crazy Stupid Love is a really good and great little comedy and the whole thing was good. That was a
Yeah,
great
Mean Girl's
movie.
good. This is when Lindsay Lohan before she went off her rocker. Like
Right.
you'll see her and be
Before
like,
Cray Cray.
you're like, oh my god, she has potential, and then you're like, what the fuck
What
happened?
happened to you? Yeah, it's like, oh,
And
she has
Tina Fey's
potential.
in it.
She's
I think
hot.
she wrote it.
Yeah, she wrote it.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of drugs to mess up this girl. Oh,
Oh,
man.
well, we found out how much now.
Nailed it.
Yeah, she's good. All right, that's awesome. Well, I don't have anything else, Jeff. In my notes, I am done. Kaput. I'm out. Oh, last thing.
Oh.
A Case of You, The Second Base for $1. I forgot to mention this earlier. This is how 90s this movie was, though. They had an entire montage that was to the Spin Doctors' Two Princesses song.
No!
Yes.
Oh, yeah!
That's how, like, this movie was 2013 Tribeca Film Festival, but it was that 90s movie that there was an entire montage
man.
where the Spin
that
Doctors
was my
playing in the
favorite
background.
song in high school. Oh, my
So,
God.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
Yeah, so ended it off on that.
Oh, thank you. I'm watching that movie now. I was like, all right, I might watch it, but now it's definitely going down.
There
to
you
the-
go. There you
I have to
go.
remember when we make the socially awkward movie, we'll put Spin Doctors in there so people will watch it.
That's it. Get that
Do
attracted.
you hear the
in
concept
there.
for the socially awkward movie?
No.
It's the network going back. It's stealing Doc Brown's DeLorean and going back in time and stopping Michael Bay from destroying our childhood.
I like it, actually. That's a great little premise to poke fun at everything Hollywood, too. You could have a lot of fun with that. So.
Yeah,
That's what I figured.
I like it. All right, cool. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining in for our experimental show with Carly, and thank you, Steve-O,
Yeah.
for jumping in and
Hey,
filling
no
out.
problem.
Definitely lots of fun. So thank you there, yes.
You guys are like family, man. It's like Olive Garden.
Yeah.
With no breadsticks.
With no breadsticks.
All
That's
right, well, thanks, everybody. Here we go. Have a great night.
The 12A podcast is produced by 12A Productions and distributed by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. To learn more about the podcast or to see what other projects the 12A team is working on, check out 12aproductions.com.
Carly's like, should we fire her already, or is it too soon?
This has been another great presentation by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. You can find more information at 4eyedradio.com.